This is opening and closing space. A movement pattern where I'm going to extend to the lower body in order to increase range of motion and precision of my progressing foot, and then flex through the lower body in order to better weight my toes. So to familiarize yourselves, let's get towards the wall. What I'm gonna do is find a couple good handholds, and then I wanna bring my feet as close to the wall as possible, as is comfortable for you. So what I'm focused on is this triple hinge around my lower body, because my toes are gonna stay on the foothold, so they can't come any closer into the wall than the foothold allows. Right? Otherwise I gotta replace my foot. So, but we're gonna try to bring that ankle in as close to the wall as possible, and try to bring the knee in as close to the wall as possible, and the hip as close to the wall as possible. I want you to think about them independently for now, but be mindful that as you see this ankle coming in, well, my knee is moving as well, and as my knee is moving, so is my hip, right? So these happen simultaneously, but when you're in this position where you're flexed, think, is this actually as close as that joint could be? No, get it closer. Is this as close as this joint could be? No, get it closer, right? So they move simultaneously, but think about them independently for now. So I'm just gonna go through this process, exaggerate it out here, where I'm on both my toes, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and flex in. So ankles come in towards the walls as much as possible. That's probably about as far as they can get. My knees are now scraping the wall, and let's bring those hips in a little bit further. There we go. Go ahead and position your feet wherever is comfortable for you. So I'm as close to the wall. I can't really get anything else moving in. This is good. Let's go ahead and extend it as far away from the wall as possible. This is well exaggerated, right? Let's go ahead and flex this back in. So my knees are often making contact before anything else, but we're getting those ankles in, we're getting those hips in now. I can't pull anything else further. That's the max flexion I can have. So we've closed all this space off, and then we're going to extend back out. I'm going to go ahead and do that, repeat that process, but with just one foot. So one here, and extend it all the way out. Let's go ahead and flex this as close in as possible. We've got everything as close as possible. Now we're going to extend out and open that space up. That's when I'm going to switch feet. And we're just going to go ahead and flex that lower body in. All my joints in as close as possible. Extend back out, open that space up, switch feet, flex back in. Now at this point, this is where I'm going to go ahead and change and grab another handhold. Extend back out, switch feet, flex back in, grab a handhold, extend back out, switch feet, flex in, grab a handhold, extend out, switch feet, flex back in, grab a handhold. Now the reason I'm doing this is I said we better weight our foot when we flex in, and that means that I can now unload a hand and reach. Extending out, I can now have a bit more range of motion. We'll discover that a bit better in this next stage where we're talking about the application of that. Okay, so we familiarize ourselves with the movement. Go ahead and apply it to the wall a little bit. Get myself on some decent handholds here. And I'm gonna start out on just one foothold. We're gonna use these green guys, so I'm gonna try to get my right foot up here. What we're gonna talk about is flexing in, grabbing the next handhold. So I'm on one foot. I'm extending all the way out, right? To start, and we flex, and we really exaggerate this, pull all the way in underneath it and grab. Now what I want you to see is if I try to get my foot up to that hold right here with my knee, you can't do it, right? But if I extend out here, I can place it really easily. We flex back in, we grab, we extend back out, place that foot, we flex back in, we grab, we extend back out, place the foot, flex in, grab, and on and on and on, right? So we get in this motion of I extend out, I place a foot, I flex in, I grab with a handhold, extend back out, place a foot. Now obviously if you got multiple handholds in a row that you're moving between or a bump, you're not going to have to do that extend flex between each of those. We're going to have ourselves flexed in when making hand motions and extended out when making foot motions. So multiple feet in a row, keep those hips away from the wall a bit. And you saw that if I'm tucked all the way in, I couldn't get this foot up. But we talked about this being exaggerated. So just a quick application of there, do a few laps on that. Now what we're gonna do is more acquire that skill properly. Where I don't want to exaggerate this, because I wouldn't climb that way, of course, that's why it's exaggerated. So if I go ahead and get myself on these handholds again, start out on this left foot, I'm gonna flex in and grab this handhold. So we're extended out, we're flexed in, there. So I don't need to come all the way away from the wall, but I'm here. I'm gonna go ahead and push a little bit. Even that little bit gets my foot up, right? Now I can flex in just a small amount to grab, extend out. I can't bring that foot up yet to this green one. So we extend out a little bit more. There we go. Flex in. Extend out. This foot's almost there. Extend a little bit further. There we go. Okay. So now what I want to do to actually acquire that one is move through it without having to do it discreetly. So I'm going to go ahead and flex in, grab, extend out just enough, and put my foot without having to do it as a multi-step process. So if I extend out and exaggerate this, I'm just loading my fingers even more, right? As I come away from the wall, they're trying to bear down on a less positive hold, and I'm moving a foot, so obviously that foot's not taking any weight. So the less I need to come out from the wall, and the faster I can place the foot, the better. So we're moving away from that exaggeration side. Now we're gonna do is try to integrate it into our movement pattern where I'm not really thinking about it being extend this foot, place a foot, flex in, move a hand, extend that foot, right? Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to combine some elements. So if I'm on here, let's say I'm on this foothold, and I've just placed it, right? So we're doing it on here, just placed it. We're gonna flex in at the same time, I'd extend back out, flex in as I move a hand, right? So to do that from lower, we're bunched up, we're gonna go to these midway crimps on this. For now, I need to really commit to flexing it at the same time. So we're gonna be, okay, now I'm too close to the wall to really just lift the foot up. So we extend out a bit, but I don't wanna stay too far. Flex in, there we go. Extend out a little bit, flex in, extend out a little bit, flex in. So we started combining those movements into this more rapid thing of, well, when I extend out, I should just start placing my foot immediately. This way, when I'm out here, I'm not sitting there going, okay, can my foot go there yet? No, what I'm doing is I flexed in, I'm just moved my hand, and my foot is traveling at the same time I'm extending out. So by the time I get my foot there, that's as far as I want to be extended, right? So I can move it quickly, efficiently, and then the moment that it makes contact, I want to start weighting it. I want to bring my hips back into the wall. So if I'm out here, I'm bringing them back in already to stand up through. So I've got no need to spend more time on my hands than I need. So let's go ahead and push up, get my hand holds above. You'll also notice, as we better integrate this skill, is if I go to high foothold, so if I get a really high position on this, where I've just gotten up from here, got ourselves in this. If I want to go to this one at knee level, well, see how far I have to come away from that the wall with my hips to make this. So I've got to really load this foot then to make use of it. So it is one of those common errors that people always look for the best foothold, rather than if I can more easily do this, where I'm going to be very little away from the wall, very little away from the wall. I've moved up my hips to better position rather than having to move them out to get that range of motion. Now my hips are over top of the foothold. So this gives me a different idea of I can go ahead and just do several little walks to get that foot without heavily loading my hands. There's a trade-off because of course I've got to do little foot movements. Is that more efficient than pull out from the wall and kick up quickly? That's up to you to decide based on the movement. There's another way to integrate it is go ahead and walk the feet very quickly by keeping the hips as close to the wall as you possibly could while still having that range of motion.